now we start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatajayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtikit. Hare Krishna Pranam. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1st chapter 9, the passing away of Bhishmadeva, Shloka number 40. Lalita Gati Vilas Valguhasa
ललित गति विलास वल्गुहास
Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpitā
प्रणय निरीक्षण कल्पित उरुमानाः
Krutamanu Krutavatya Unmada Andaha
कृतमनु कृतवत्य उन्मद अंधाः
Prakrutim Aganakila Yasya Gopavadvaha
प्रकृति मगन कीलयस्य गोपवध्वः
Lalitagati Vilasa Valguhasa
ललित गति विलास वल्गुहास
Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpita Urumanaha
प्रणय निरीक्षण कल्पित उरुमानाः
Krutamanu Krutavatta Unmada Andaha
कृतमनु कृतवत्य उन्मद अंधाः
Prakrutim Aganakila Yasya Gopavadvaha
प्रकृतिम् अगन कीलयस्य गोपवध्वः
Lalitagati Vilasa Valguhasa Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpita Urumanaha Krutamanu Krutavatta Unmadandaha Prakrutim Aganakila Yasya Gopavadvaha
ललित गति विलास वल्गुहास प्रणय निरीक्षण कल्पित उरुमानाः कृतमनु कृतवत्य उन्मद अंधाः प्रकृति मगन कीलयस्य गोपध्वः.
Ashish Prabhuji, please read.
श्रीधर प्रभु जी, आशीष प्रभु
हरे
जी.
कृष्ण.
या
ललित गति विलास वल्गुहासा प्रणय निरीक्षण कल्पितो मानां कृतमनुकृत वत्स उन्मद अंताः प्रकृतिम अहं किल यस्य कोपवत्वात्. हरे कृष्ण.
Sorry Prabhuji, Ashish Prabhuji, please now read.
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.
ललित गति विलास वल्गुहास प्रणय निरीक्षण कल्पितरुमानाः कृतम अनुकृत्य वत्य उन्मादनः प्रकृतिमगन कीला यस्य गोपा वध्वः. हरे कृष्ण.
Rupamai Mataji, please read. Translated and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of vrajavadhū, the gopis. The damsel imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the Ras dance. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsel of Vrajavadhū attained qualitative oneness with the Lord by dancing with him on an equal level, embracing him in nuptial love, smiling at him in joke, and looking at him with a loving attitude. The relation of the Lord with Arjuna is undoubtedly praiseworthy for devotees like Bhishmadeva, but the relation of the gopis with the Lord is still more praiseworthy because of their still more purified loving service. By the grace of the Lord, Arjuna was fortunate enough to have the fraternal service of the Lord as chariot driver. But the Lord did not award Arjuna with equal strength. The gopis, however, practically became one with the Lord by the attainment of equal footing with the Lord. Bhishma's aspiration to remember the gopis is a prayer to have their mercy also at the last stage of his life. The Lord is satisfied more when his pure devotees are glorified, and therefore Bhishmadeva has not only glorified the acts of Arjuna, his immediate objects of attraction, but has also remembered the gopis who were endued with unrivaled opportunities by rendering loving service to the Lord. The gopis' equality with the Lord should never be misunderstood or to be like the Sayujya liberation of the impersonalist. The equality is one of the perfect ecstasy where the differential conception is completely eradicated for the interest of lover and the beloved become identical. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Caitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sahadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauramani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Aschata Deshatarine Pancha Kalpatarubhecha Krupa Sindhube Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We try to understand shloka number 40 of chapter 9, the passing away of Bhishma Deva. In this shloka, this is most important shloka here, describing about the comparison of the relation of Lord with Arjuna and relation of the Lord with Gopis. Here Arjuna, they are not giving Arjuna uh, strength as the gopis received. Gopi became as if Krishna. They understand themselves. They are Krishna. But here they're describing about both difference and what the um, tattva behind that. And here uh, Bhishma Deva uh, praying about the gopis, because at the last stage they glorifying the gopis gopis uh, activities as a prayer, and who glorified the pure devotees, those devotees are satisfied more than his pure devotees, they describe here. And so all aspects which instruct us how we remember Krishna, and at the last stage of our vein come, we don't know. But that time we also prayed like Bhishmadeva, doing prayer of the gopis and remembering Krishna. Like that, we also remember Krishna. That is described in here. Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, Prabhupada ji, when he starts discussing on this shloka, the very first thing he remembers is something which Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu said. ramyā kācid upāsanā vrajavadhū-vargeṇa ya kalpitā. So this comes in Caitanya-manjusa, that there is no better method of worship than the system which is invented by the Gopis. So what was this system? So the Gopis' invention of worshipping Krishna was to always remember Krishna, always be Krishna conscious, and not think of any material gains. So this is super excellence of Gopis, that they never expected anything in return from Krishna. While what we generally do is we worship with some reasons. Ārtaḥ, arthārthī, jijñāsuḥ, Jñānī. So Ārtaḥ means those who are ill, diseased. So they go there and say, oh, please remove my disease. Ārtaḥ means they need money. God, please give me X, Y, Z. Jñānī means one after pure knowledge. And jijñāsuḥ means those who are inquisitive. What is the nature of God? So these four classes of men, they want to know about God, they want to worship God, but they are not bhakta, they are not devotees. Because they come to Krishna for some benefit. Some way or other they offer their service because they need something. Even praying is also a service. See, we have seen the Navvidha Bhakti, śravaṇaṁ, kīrtanaṁ, viṣṇoḥ, smaraṇaṁ, pāda-sevanam, arcanaṁ, Vandanam. So Vandanam is also a service. But look at the gopis, their activities. They are the supreme platform of devotion, pure devotion. They are not interested to know whether Krishna is God. But practically they are seeing every step that Krishna is God. Mother Yashoda is seeing that Krishna is God. We start with Jai Radha Madhav, Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. So Krishna is lifting the Govardhan hill, that too on the left hand, little finger tip. Who can do it except God? So the gopis are seeing it, Yashoda Maya is seeing it. Still they do not know that Krishna is God. What they are interested in, that Krishna is wonderful. That's all. They want to love Krishna. Krishna may be God, may not be God. It does not matter. So love has no consideration. So Gopi's love for Krishna was pure. No consideration at all. Therefore, they wanted to dance with him. It was not they wanted. Actually, Krishna wanted to dance with them. Therefore, they came to Krishna. Oh, Krishna is now calling us by the vibration of his flute at the dead of the night. So all the young girls, some of them were married, some of them were mothers. They immediately left their home. Some were cooking, some were feeding, breastfeeding the children, some were feeding the husband or the father. The elders, they tried to stop them, but they said, no, Krishna is calling, we want to go. Everyone was engaged. But as soon as Krishna's flute was heard, they left home immediately. Because they are always and always only thinking about Krishna. So the moment they come to know that Krishna wants to associate with them, they are ready to give up everything. That is the level of their devotion, Krishna consciousness. Unless you are practicing to think of Krishna always, it is not possible to think of Krishna at the time of that. So Kulshekhar Maharaj says, Krishnottvadiya pada pankaja panjarantam advaya vishatu me manasa rajahaunsah prana prayana samay kafavata pitta kantha urodhana vidhau smaraṇaṁ kutah te. So this comes in Mukundamala Stotra number 33. So Kulshekhar Maharaj was a great devotee of Krishna. He was a king. So he's praying to Krishna. Krishna, this is the opportune time. Now I'm healthy. I'm quite in good health. So let me die immediately thinking of you. Because my whole purpose is to think of you or your pastimes at the time of death. At the time of death, I'll be troubled by kapha, vata, pitta, kantha, avrodhana. So in that difficult situation, it may not be possible for me to think about you. So, Krishna, please let me leave this body right now. See, at the time of death, and we all see, and we have seen that some form or the other, it is a very bad situation. The whole bodily system is completely disarranged. Some are coughing, some are having headaches, some pain. Sometimes it is so intolerable that the man who is going to die, he cries. The whole bodily system is complicated and it becomes a great source of pain. It's so dangerously painful that the soul leaves the body. Oh, no, no more. I cannot take it anymore. This is death. The bodily arrangement becoming painful. In fact, even for suicide, which we come across, the situation is too much painful. And that is why these people want to rescue by committing suicide. So, tyaktva deham. He gives up the body. And it is a shashvat satya. It is an eternal truth that we have to give up the body. But unfortunately, we forget this thing. We become misguided. In fact, Prabhupada ji gives the example of one of our ex-prime ministers. And he says how the astrologers have predicted that the ex-prime minister, for whom we have created so many museums, so many, what I'll say, even statues, he has taken birth again as a dog in Scandinavia. So we don't know what the next birth is going to be, where we will go. Once there was a man who was drowning, and Sunny Benny were just going along. Now Sunny is very courageous. So he sees that this man is drowning. So immediately he jumps. He goes into the water. And what he does is, he brings the coat and the shirt of the person who was drowning and says, oh, I have saved this man. And all the people around, they were laughing and saying, what nonsense is this? You have brought coat and shirt. And you're saying the man is saved. But this is a fact. We are all dealing only with the coats and shirts of the living entity. We don't know that the body is just a covering. What is true is the soul. We don't know where the soul is gone. There is no knowledge. We are only concerned with the external body. 99% population, Prabhupada ji says, they're interested only in bodily concept of life. But practically, we are not the body. We are different for the body. And after death, we get another body. And this is something which you have been taught to us in Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantar prapti dhirah tatra namuhyati. Such a simple education in Bhagavad Gita. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober man is not bewildered by such a change. But still, for majority of the persons, the whole life is situated around bodily concept of life. And the intelligent persons, they pass off as scientists, scholars, leaders, politicians. And in fact, they become our leaders as well. Well, actually, a man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul, and the nature, material as well as spiritual, he is the one who is called Dhira or most sober man. And such man is never deluded by the change of bodies. And this is what the real absolute truth is. We have to understand this, that we are parts and parcels of Krishna. We are Anu and Krishna is Vibhu. We are not of the same level. While we are deluded by the illusory energy, Krishna is never covered by illusory energy, because that energy is of Krishna himself. So every living entity is changing every moment, every moment. But then we don't understand this change which is happening in us. And these changes of body, it is that which is accounting for the various types of varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to our karma, the work in life. So we have to understand this basic aspect, but people don't understand it, and actually they become the leaders. And what happens is, yatha andha yatha andhaihi nate vidhu swarthagatim hi vishnum durashaya ye bahir bahi arthmaninaha andha yatha andhe niyamana te pishatantra arudamani bahuda. So this is what we see, that persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have accepted as their leader a similar blind man attached to external sense objects cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead, and they cannot engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. As blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, similarly, materially attached men led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. A very important shloka, which we'll be learning in future in the 7th canto, 5th verse, chapter, 31st verse. So the leaders are blind and they are leading us. So we are also been put into difficulties. It is only this Krishna consciousness movement which can save the human civilization and help us raise to the platform of the gopis by following proper sadhana, seva, and swadhyaya. When we follow the scriptural rules and regulations, we immediately become purified. And that is why this Bhagavatam is a Amala Purana. The best of everything is there in this Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the ripened fruit of all the scriptures. And hence it is recommended that we study the Bhagavatam properly. Without studying the Bhagavatam, we would never understand what gopis are. And to understand what gopis are in the 10th canto, we need to understand everything about Krishna, his devotees, in the first 9 cantos. So though the description of gopis is coming in this first canto through the mouth of Bhishmadev, we need to understand that Bhishmadev is a pure devotee of Lord. And he's just trying to tell how Krishna is important. How Krishna could attract the damsels of Vrajavadhū-vargeṇa just by his motions and smiles. And how because of that, all the gopis, when actually Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance, seeing their ego, seeing their arrogance, that, oh, Krishna is dancing only with me, he left. Because Krishna never wants ego or arrogance in his devotees. So they lamented. They sang the Gopi Gate. And just to help each other, chide with each other, they started imitating the activities of Krishna, the characteristic moments of Krishna. Bhishmadev was knowing this. So he's saying, it is such Krishna who is creating all this pure love. I want to concentrate on that Krishna. Because this can be done by no one else. Vishwa's aspiration to remember the gopis is a prayer to have their mercy at the last stage of his life. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu also tells us repeatedly that we have to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis. It is only when we try to serve the pure devotees that we can get the purity, we can get their mercy. And Krishna is satisfied more when his pure devotees are glorified. And so Bhishma is not only glorifying the acts of Arjuna, but also remembers the gopis who were endowed with unrivaled opportunities for rendering loving service to the Lord. So what gopis have achieved, no one else has achieved. Arjuna was the best. He could be with Krishna, but actual interactions with Krishna, only the gopis could do. Arjuna never came at equality with Krishna, while gopis, they could chide Krishna, they could play with his hair, they could do anything with Krishna. That is because of their unalloyed, complete surrenderance and love towards Krishna. And that is the highest stage of bhakti, which we all need to aspire to achieve. Only those who reach that highest level can be assured of pleasing Radharani. And when Srimati Radharani is pleased, she can definitely recommend to Krishna, oh Krishna, see this person, he's serving so nicely, he's so pleasant, he has got no motives. Anya Bilashita Shunyam. He's following the Bhakti Uttama practice. So let us please take him in our abode and have him serve with us. And Krishna can never say no to Radharani. So he immediately accepts. And we are able to go back home, back to Godhead in Golok Vrindavan. So this shloka by Bhishma is making us understand two important aspects. The highest level of bhakti which the gopis had. Second, that Krishna is satisfied, is happy when his devotees are mentioned about. So we should try to please the devotees and glorify the devotees. That will help us to remember Krishna. So all the Krishna Lila that we are studying daily, they are just to ensure that we are always Krishna-fied. And the moment we are Krishna-fied, the chances of us remembering Krishna when that last moment is going to come, as Maharaj Kulashekar says, where the death is going to be very painful, we may still remember Krishna. That is the ultimate objective with which we all have to work together.
Hare Krishna.
Kartik month helps us to do that. Whatever we do in Kartik month, we get 1,000 times more benefit. So let us chant more and follow the Bhishma Vanchak Vrat, which is starting from tomorrow. Hare Krishna.